Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 9 of the Purple and Gold Hoops podcast with Adam and Kevin. As always, it's Adam.
This is Kevin.
Coming to you every week as we do. And this week we're coming in with 4 games. They won all 4 of them. I believe their win streak now currently is a 5-game win streak, since they went on that 4-game losing streak. So it's been nice to see them kind of regain their footing and get back to where they were at. And we're going to start tonight with the win against the Dallas Mavericks. Last Sunday, a week ago, they won 108-95. And I didn't really have anything to say about the game. I know I started this way last week as well, but nothing really stood out to me. Luka was playing again. He was back. He gave up 19, 7 assists, 4 rebounds on 5 for 14 shooting. So probably still a little bit bothered by the ankle, but I feel like they should have probably played a stronger game. I mean, I don't really have any beef with it. I don't really have anything about it that I loved either.
I feel like besides Luka, AD had a great game. AD had 23 points, 9 rebounds, and I felt like he continues to surprise teams streaking down the court while, LeBron is throwing him those.
Which is so crazy. Like, why would...
that's got to be on the scouting report by now. It's happening so often. It happens at least once a game. At least.
I mean, it's not like he's even cherry picking. Like, he's not just, not going back on defense and just standing by the bucket, by the rim and wait. Like, he's playing all NBA defense and still making these full-court rim runs to get a lob or a breakaway dunk when the other team made a basket.
It's like, oh, you didn't see this 6'11" dude run down the court. I can't help you. Like, I understand if a guard does it. Mm-hmm. It might surprise you because he's fast, but 6'11" Anthony Davis running down the court and you don't notice him. I'm sorry, that's your problem. KCP had a great shooting night. He had 19, shot 4 for 5 from 3. The surprise of the game was Kyle Kuzma. I think this was the first of his bad luck games. This is right after we had
points. Yeah.
Yes, right after we had just talked about
how he was starting.
I'm comfortable. Yeah, I'm comfortable giving Kuzma a long-term deal if he can put up these results all the time. And then he comes out and he just shoots over 7.
Yeah, I mean that game for Kuz, it was ugly.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I was happy about was that the fact that even though he shot 0 for 7, he didn't stop shooting, and he found other ways to be productive. So he still had 5 rebounds.
I mean, he was a +2. He, like you said, 5 rebounds. He had a steal. The big part of the bench, though, really was, as you got at before, was KCP with the 19, and Dwight had 15.
Oh, KCP was on fire.
Yeah.
Everything was going in.
But that's what I talked to you about, why I don't like the role we've given Kuz as the third guy, quote-unquote. Mm. And what I've mentioned to you before was that we need a cemented third guy. Because you look at, there's games where we get our third production, sometimes it's Dwight, sometimes it's KCP, sometimes it's Danny Green, sometimes it's Kuzma, sometimes it's Caruso, sometimes it's Rondo. That's great if that's your 4th or 5th option, mm-hmm. But as far as a third option goes, it's not going to work long term, and it's been working so far this season because the schedule has been fairly easy. I mean, they're undefeated against teams below 500. They're like 18 or 19-0.
Yeah. Well, Dallas is one of the top 8 teams, and they beat us last time, so I'm sure a lot of guys got up for this game. But I'm not 100% sure that we need a cemented third scorer, for the simple fact that every time LeBron has had a third scorer, they've been kind of been the odd man out. Mm-hmm. And they have a hard time adjusting to the touches. Because there were nights, I believe this week, where LeBron had 30, AD had 30. If both of them have 30, you're not going to get that many touches.
No. But it's still nice to know the pecking order. This whole, it's like for the consistency part.
Yeah.
Even if we get, I know this would never happen and it can't happen. Say we got Bradley Beal and he was delegated to our third scorer. At least we know, okay.
He's the third scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we know when we need you, his numbers aren't going to be the same before he got here just because, like you said, touches. But when we need you, we know you can make it happen. I don't have that trust in Kuzma. I don't have that trust in Rondo. I don't have that trust in Green. Any of the role players, I don't have that trust in to do it nightly. Now, it's great that at any night, any one of them can do it, maybe two of them on good nights. But I prefer the consistency and knowing, like, look, this is where I'm getting this from.
I will say this. KCP seems like a better starter than Kuzma. I still always have doubts about Kuzma's defense. Even though, last year we had him guarding 4s and 5s, which is not fair.
Yeah.
But now he's guarding guys on the wing, and he seems...
Yeah, I mean, his first 2 years were terrible on defense.
Yeah, but Luke had him guarding 4s and 5s.
When LeBron was there, but before LeBron got there, he was actually guarding his position. He was guarding big 3s, big 2s, and sometimes an athletic 4 like a Durant type. But his defense was terrible. It's always been terrible.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a fan favorite because we see the potential as far as offensively goes. But at this point, to me, he's looking like a downgraded version of what Carmelo was when he came in.
Oof.
Because he has similar style. He's kind of a ball stopper. He's not as good of a scorer. Neither one of them played.
Because, he doesn't... Well, you say Carmelo's a ball stopper because Carmelo could dribble.
Yeah, and Kuzma, he would eat 16, 17. I love Carmelo, but he would eat 16, 17, 18 seconds of the shot clock and take a mid-range jump shot.
Yeah.
Which is for him, he was very proficient at. He shot those about 50%.
Mm-hmm. But Kuzma will take quicker shots. Like, he'll take less time to get a shot off.
Yeah, but he's still not looking to pass or make anything happen for the team or anything like that.
Yeah. Well,
he's not as good. He's not as effective a scorer as Melo.
I'd say at least this game where he shot 0 for 7, he would, after a while, you could see him dribbling towards the basket and kicking it out to wide open shooters. I was actually happy about that. I notated that because his shot was not falling at all.
What other notes you got over there?
Well, LeBron James has 9,000 assists after that game.
Mm-hmm. Put him at 9th all time, right?
Yeah, which is crazy.
He kind of looked at J. Kidd on his way back to the bench, too, and was like, I'm coming for you. Because Jason Kidd has like 12,000.
Yeah.
So
he's like, yeah, you got 3,000 to go, little man.
I mean, the way LeBron is passing the ball this year.
He's going to
get about another 600-700.
I haven't known about that. It's ridiculous how far he is from everyone else. I looked up the total assist numbers.
There was a point, I forget what 2 games it was, but there was a point where he had 16 assists in one game, and then the very next game he had 13. So in 2 games he had 29 assists.
Wow.
Yeah, he's averaging like 11, and that went up because he had 13 or 14 tonight, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But his average is about 11 or 12 a game. He's leading the league. It's the career high average for him. Mm-hmm. It's the first time he's ever led the league.
True.
And I mean, he's throwing some nice dimes.
He's throwing some beautiful dimes.
Like, some of them are like, wow to me. Like, I didn't get to grow up watching Magic, but I assume that's how it felt watching Magic.
No, it was.
Because LeBron, some of them, he's throwing full court bounce passes and no looks over his shoulder. Like, I get it, Magic was a better passer, but
Magic was a better passer. Yeah. Magic's passes looked like magic. Mm-hmm. It looked like Magic was just out of his hand, just like poof.
Yeah. See, I've never got to see Magic, so I saw middle of the career Jason Kidd. Don't really remember it. I remember Jason Kidd with the Nets.
Okay.
So the finals that they played the Lakers, but
Yeah.
That was a sweep. So
that was Kenyon Martin.
Yeah, Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson.
Yeah, that was a good team.
Keith Van Horn.
You brought him out
with the long socks. Yeah, man. It was fun. We swept them.
You know who was a great passer was John Stockton. The way he ran the pick and roll.
Yeah, but he
Carl.
was kind of just outside of my age range.
Okay.
I missed the prime years of Gary Payton. So I saw Gary when he was with the Lakers, but that was very watered down.
Outside of fighting, you didn't miss much.
Nah, bro, the glove, man. I know the highlights. I know the highlights still. But yeah, LeBron's been making some passes. I didn't see any in this Denver game, or Dallas game, excuse me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I found this game particularly boring.
Oh, okay. Well, I felt like Avery Bradley was being Avery Bradley again, outside of getting injured again tonight. I felt like the way he played Luka, he forced him into some shots. Because Luka, he shot terribly. He shot 5 of 14. He still had 19, but he took 14 shots to get 19 points.
But how much of that do you think he's not completely right coming off of that ankle sprain?
I think it was the defense that he had on him. Like he stayed in his grill so much that he couldn't get the space that he's normally used to getting. And he's not a tremendous athlete.
Yeah, he's not going to be able.
No.
I mean, he creates space, but he does it off craftiness, not just pure.
Exactly. And Avery Bradley was just up in his grill the whole night. So I was like, this is why we need him. Mm-hmm. It's because if you end up in the playoffs against Luka and he has 40 one night,
or James, or Russell Westbrook, or Damian Lillard,
you're gonna need somebody to. I don't want you to. I know you're not gonna be able to shut him down completely, but I need you to make him take 19 shots to get 19 points.
Yeah, make him work.
Yeah,
that's what Pat Bev does.
Anyway,
we've been arguing about Patrick Beverly all day. We've been going back and forth, just arguing through text messages all day about him. I don't know why he was trying to make me defend the Clippers, but
yeah. I also said that the Lakers foul a lot, and I think Vogel said that tonight. He said we foul a lot.
Yeah, he said that tonight, and that's another weird stat. There also is. Well as being undefeated against teams below 500, they're undefeated in games that they shoot more free throws than the opponent.
Yeah.
So if they shoot more free throws, if they win the free throw battle, they're undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy because as bad as they shoot free throws, that's one of the indicators that if we're getting to the line, it's going to be a hard time and nobody's beat us yet.
Yeah. I
wish LeBron would, and I'm hoping that come playoff time that this kind of changes. Yeah, because the game changes in the playoffs.
Yeah, the game slows down.
Yeah, there's more calls. It's more defensive oriented. But I'm hoping that LeBron starts to get more aggressive because we've talked about that too. I don't believe he's been aggressive
on offense or defense.
On offense, getting to the basket, trying to draw fouls, trying to get to the line. He's averaging the fewest free throw attempts per game his entire career this year.
He's actually running a true point guard. Like, he's not being a point forward.
Yeah, but it's beneficial for him to be aggressive and attack the rim.
I think I personally feel like he's working his way through the injury, through the growing injury, and he's playing this way so he can continue playing while being somewhat productive.
So you think he's pacing himself?
Yep. I do think he's doing it on purpose. He's still grabbing his groin every now and then.
Oh, he did it 2 or 3 times tonight.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's why you could tell he's not attacking the rim as much as he used to.
I mean, if that's the case, then that's fine. And that's what I would want because that's a smart play.
Yeah.
But it worries me because if you can't do it now, why should I believe you're going to be able to do it in 3 or 4 months after you put on 2,500 more minutes?
Yeah.
And tonight he has some. We'll get into that, but
yeah, because I think the last time we spoke about it, we said LeBron wasn't attacking the rim, so you see him attacking the rim like every now and then, and you're like, okay, it looks really good, and then there's times where he elevates, and you're like, oof, he barely got off the floor.
I think that might have been I don't know. it was one of these recent games. I think it was against the Suns where he got up and it was a play where he would normally dunk it, but he just had a sweet little finger roll and got the layup. And, I mean, he made it, but watching it, you notice like you're not the same.
Yeah.
Like you used to go up and tomahawk that before.
Yeah, he shows it every now and then.
Yeah,
but it's not consistent, to say the least. It's not consistent.
Do you remember? In a quick sidetrack, do you remember when he was with Miami? Because I keep thinking about this recently for some reason. When he literally jumped over that one dude from the Bulls in the playoffs. Like, what was that dude's name? I can't, like...
I don't know, but that's what I say.
It was John, like... John something, like... He was short. He was a short point guard. He was very small. But LeBron literally, like, in a playoff series, just jumped completely over him. Yeah, and he did it 2 or 3 times.
I don't remember. I don't recall his name. But he's not jumping that high anymore.
No, he's definitely not. LeBron is... I'm sorry,
we got old man LeBron. Which is cool. I mean, old man LeBron is still better than pretty much every other option out there. So, look, I'll take it. I'm not mad. I have his jersey. I'm a LeBron fan.
Ew.
It took a while,
Gross.
Being a Kobe fan.
Gross. You're not a Kobe fan.
Oh, my God. I'm the biggest Kobe fan.
No, you're not. You bought a LeBron jersey. You're not a Kobe
I have both jerseys. But you can't tell me, look, a superstar, one of the best players ever, comes onto the Lakers, and you don't buy that jersey.
I don't have one. Okay.
Look,
I got one for my son, so my son has a
if Will Chamberlain
jersey.
was alive right now, you're telling me you wouldn't buy his jersey because he was an original Laker?
The original Laker has nothing to do with it. That's not why I dislike LeBron.
It's the whole the Kobe LeBron thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I accept AD. AD's not an original Laker.
True.
So that has nothing. I know that's a big stigma that Laker fans get, but I mean, that's not why.
There's not a lot of homegrown Laker fans. I don't know why Laker fans get mad at not being homegrown. I'm like, have you seen the Lakers' history? We buy players. We don't make them.
Trades and free agency. Like,
oh, you can't afford him? Let me take them off your hands.
Right, come over here. And in doing so, we'll get some rings together. You get a ring, we get a trophy. Everybody wins. All right, let's move on to this Phoenix Suns game. That Suns game. This is going to be a loaded one. I actually do have things to say about this. They started out the game amazing. Oh, my God. That game was I think they were up by 36 at some point in the first half. It was like 40 to 17 at the end of the first quarter. 43-17 or something. They were balling.
You complain about the slow starts, and this is definitely not one of us.
Oh, my God.
Not a slow start.
They could not miss. They shot 73%.
They started 11-11.
Yeah, they shot 73%.
Crazy.
From the field in the whole first quarter. Oh, my God. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
But, the Suns,
36.
They're one of the worst defending teams in the NBA. So, you're going to get your shot. I'm going to get any shot I want, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And they have a bunch of young guys, so they have no idea what they're doing.
They were up 36, bro. Okay. So you just said the young guys for Phoenix don't know what they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're down 36. You expect that. Okay. It's looking like we're coasting to an easy win. Yep. They were up, I believe it was 24 at halftime. I might be wrong about that number, but it was somewhere around 24, 25.
At halftime, it was 74-41.
34, my bad. So they almost doubled them up at halftime, right? I'm sitting there, and I mentioned on here how I just want to see my Lakers drop 150 on somebody. Give me 150 at some point. I ain't never seen it. I want to see it. Teams are doing it with the regular now. I want to see my team put up 150 on somebody, right? Uh-huh. They're looking good. 74 points in the first half. They're on pace. Second half comes around. Oh, now they're only up 19. Oh, now it's the closing minutes of the game.
Oh, my God.
And they're only up 7. What the heck?
I don't know.
I'm trying not to cuss, but what is going on? Like, how do you go up? How do you squander a 36-point lead, bro? With Anthony Davis and LeBron, they should have been able to sit out the whole fourth quarter. They had to put AD and LeBron back in, and this is what I'm talking about. You can get away with this with the bad teams, but with the good teams and the great teams and the teams we're going to play in the playoffs, this is not going to work. is not going to work.
But they play mundane against the worst team in the league.
They're developing bad habits. Look, I get it. They're winning the game still, but you're developing bad habits. And what's going to happen is they're going to take those bad habits with them into the playoffs and think that they can flip this switch. And guess what? The teams in the playoffs are a little bit better, so it's going to get harder. And now guess what? Now you're deep in the playoffs and you're playing a great team that deserves to be there and is just as good as you are. And you think you can do this and you can just mess around and just flip a switch whenever you... And guess what? You're not going to be able to.
The only part that upset me about this game was the ball movement. The last time we played the Suns, we had 39 assists. That was the most assists the Lakers have had all season. So I'm looking forward to another dazzling ball movement game. I was like, oh, maybe the Lakers can make 40. Maybe they can get 45 assists for the game. They had 21. They had 21 assists at halftime. So I was like, oh, they're about to do it. They're about to get 42 assists. And they ended the game with 25. That means there was 4 assists throughout the entire second half. That means everyone's just taking their own shot.
Bro,
they got 2 passes. I mean, they got two jump shot happy.
Yeah, it was terrible. Like, the first half was great. You just mentioned the score, 74-31 or something, 41 like that, something like that. So, everything went right in the first half. As you said, they made their first 11 shots. As I said, they shot like 73% in the first quarter. Everything was clicking. And they just decided, oh, we got this win, and they got complacent. They got chill. They got relaxed. And look, LeBron and AD both should have sat out the entire fourth quarter. They couldn't. With like 2 minutes left, it was a 7-point game. It was really anybody's game.
I'll tell you one thing, though. I feel like when LeBron came back in, he took a lot of unwarranted jump shots, which didn't help because his missed jump shots were just leading to their scores.
He should have never been in that position to begin with. I mean, those are dumb plays and decisions by him. I know what you're talking about and what you're referencing. So it was dumb possessions and dumb plays from him, but at the same time, he really shouldn't have never even had to. He should have been able to do what he did in Utah. Remember when he took his shoes off, signed them, gave them to the kid, and was dancing on the floor on his side? He should have been able to do that at the fourth quarter, at the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well.
They both had to come. He's 35 now. You can't continue to do it. And they've been getting away with it, so they're going to get used to it. They're going to think this is what they can do against everybody, and watch what happens. They don't even have to play a great team. Watch what happens when they play a good team. It's not going to end right, and it's these bad habits. But yeah, we still got the win. We're not going to think about this in a week or 2 or 3 or whatever. But it's the habits that they're developing in these bad wins. I mean, how you have a bad win, but
sure. I mean,
they've had a lot.
He still had a great game. He had 31 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists.
Who did, LeBron?
Yeah, it was 8th triple-double of the season.
But I'm not worried about LeBron and AD. I'm worried about everybody else. Because, LeBron and AD how you think they got up 36 in the first half?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like...
Well, I mean, I feel like everybody was scoring in the first half. Just everybody. We went 11 for 11 to start.
Avery Bradley had 18 points on 9 for 11.
And Coach
Kuz had 19.
Vogel said he was going to run more actions for Avery Bradley because he wanted to get him more involved. And Avery Bradley's more of like a mid-range guy. Very successful with that shot. So,
but, I mean, still, it looked good and then they got complacent. That's an issue. That's a bad habit.
Yeah, outside of the complacency, the only other thing that bothered me was the fact that Vogel didn't challenge the Kyle Kuzma charge. You know what charge I'm talking about?
I don't know what charge you're talking about. I just think challenging in the NBA is a waste of time. Like, why do I have to call a timeout, then initiate the challenge? And even if I win the challenge and you guys are wrong, I still lost my time. I've just valued the timeout more.
Look, I get that, but they
unless it's like last 2 to 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah. 1, Suns were on a run. 2, just like when you're on a fast break, you always reward the big man.
Mm-hmm.
3, Kyle Kuzma stepped in. DeAndre Ayton was running down the floor. Kyle Kuzma had great position. Took the charge from a big man, a guy who was like 7 foot, 265. You're asking Kyle Kuzma to stand up there, take the charge. He does it. He executes it perfectly, and the coach doesn't challenge it. That just makes you feel. I mean, if I'm a player, I'm not taking any more charges because you're not going to challenge it anyway. Why would I take charges? So I felt like that deflated the team even more than they were already in.
I mean, that's a reasonable point as far as from a player's perspective, too. But from a coach's perspective, it's not smart for me to challenge this, bro.
I mean, they're on a run. You might as well challenge it to slow down the game.
I get it, but guess what our run stopper is? Give the ball to LeBron. Let him run pick and roll with Mr. Davis. And throw up a lot. There's our run stopper.
You know what's funny? Ever since he got injured, he's been running a lot more pick and roll.
Which is what you wanted, though.
Yes. And I'm like, oh, now you see the benefits. You can save yourself running pick and roll, especially if you run it smartly.
It's sad that it took him getting
injured.
Yeah, hurt. I'm not gonna say injured because if you're injured, you can't play.
Yeah,
like you can play through being hurt though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd prefer to not like Boogie. He's injured.
Okay, yeah.
LeBron is just hurt.
Yeah, and he's hiding the defender behind him because he has those wide hips, so he can get AD free on a 1-on. It's almost like a 1-on-2.
It's kind of like when he goes around that pick and he starts dribbling lower and using his hips, as you said. He's kind of setting a screen and keeping the defender on his backside while he has the ball, and he could just. Yes, the defender is literally behind him being boxed out. Yeah, so I mean, it's. I'm like, it's not the most like difficult play or anything like that.
No, it's not. But you got to have that body type.
Yeah, for how he does it, it looks so simple. But then, like, let you or me get out there and try to like run a pick. We're not. We might know how to box out for a rebound and everything, but like now let us come around a pick, lower our dribble, do the same box out without using our arms now, and then still throw an accurate pass. Even though you just throw it anywhere near the rim, AD's gonna get it, but it still has to be somewhat accurate. Like
just judging by the two players, though, I was like, dude, you could have been doing this the whole time. You could do this for a whole quarter. I saw John Stockton do it for games at a time, playoff game. Him and Karl Malone, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, and they would do it until they killed you. They're like, all right, we're just going to run pick and roll, whatever.
Both of them made Hall of Fame careers off of running the pick and roll together. Like
best pick and roll I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, best pick and roll there will ever be. Like, I don't think anybody else will be able to match that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it like I got to a little bit earlier with point guards. I didn't get to see it in person, but I know the history of the game. I've seen highlights and everything.
Yeah.
And especially for that era in the early to late 90s, like the only reason that team did not win a ring,
Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that one of those iterations of Utah Jazz over that era with Karl Malone and John Stockton, they should have had at least one ring. Jordan ruined a lot of people's careers.
I'm sure he got a lot of coaches fired too.
He ruined a lot of people's careers. It's crazy. But the Phoenix game, I don't think I announced the score yet. 117-107, Lakers won. Kelly Oubre had a good game for the Suns with 26 points.
Really well.
Yeah, he's really looking a lot better.
Surprising.
I thought he was a bust when he was in D.C. Even when Phoenix traded for him, I thought but he's been impressing this year. He's averaging like 20, 21 points a game.
Like, I didn't even know you had that in you.
Yeah, exactly. Like 26 points, 9 for 14 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in 36 minutes. That was Oubre's stat line. Outside of that, Booker had 32, and then Aiden had 16. Nobody else was in double figures for the Suns.
You see Booker flop that one foul?
Yeah. When AD was trailing and AD kind of jumped to contest it from behind, Booker missed and he tried to flop and act like he got fouled. Looked at the ref, wanted them to review it, and on TV they showed the replay, and AD didn't hit the ball. He didn't hit his arm. He didn't hit his hand.
Like touch him at all.
He was a good 2 to 3 inches away, because his wingspan wasn't quite long enough.
Yeah.
So he's a couple inches away, So real time, it looked like he might have got hit.
Yeah.
They showed the replay. I'm like, oh.
Honestly, that's one of those moments where I want the referee to look up at the scoreboard and point it to the player. Like, you see that? You see that? Yeah, I didn't see anything.
See that's just what you would do because you're an a-hole. You are a legitimate jerk.
Oh, you didn't see that? Oh, my bad.
I mean, that's what, like I said, that's what you would do because you're an a-hole. To keep it family friendly, you're an a-hole, so that's what you would do. But
man, I can't stand when players are like,
bro, they can't. It's professionalism. You can't try to show the players up. You can't.
I can't
because then you're not gonna have a job.
I know, but I just can't stand when players really, really want to foul so bad they're willing to cheat for it.
I mean, I used to
referee. Look, after he cheated for it, he didn't get it, and he got mad because he didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, but I get what you're saying completely, and that's what I would love to see too, just for the spectacle. But I refereed an adult flag football league. So it's grown men out there that pay money to be in the league to play flag football. And I was one of the... It was people that would come yell at me and cuss me. It was the most annoying thing in the world. I never wanted to cuss somebody out as bad as I did doing that job. Like, I've worked retail, and doing that is completely different, bro. So I don't know how these referees do it. I hope they're compensated very...
Oh, NBA referees are...
Like...
Or NBA, yeah.
Because that's a lot to deal with. And I would love to see them have some sort of, like, reaction back. Mm-hmm. Like what you're talking about, but they can't, man. They just can't.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do it. And I was, like I said, grown men playing flag football, man.
Oh.
On Sundays, like at a high school.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it was...
The lows. Oh. You think about the low moment in your life, you're like, you know what, that one Sunday I cussed out the referee while playing flag football.
Yeah, that referee was probably me. And I would cuss him back out in my head. I wish I could have did it, like, out loud, but... I mean...
It is what it is.
Yeah. So the Suns really didn't do much. I still can't figure it out how they came back within 7.
They started so fast. I mean, the next game they started fast as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, but looking at the box score too, like I watched it. I've had a couple days now. I still don't. I don't understand. I don't know what to say. Like, you were up 36. Everything was clicking. You were a well-oiled machine. The Lakers were in 2, 3, 4 minutes left in the game. They were only up 7 to a team that, quite frankly, doesn't have any business being on the same court as the Lakers. And that's no disrespect. That's just the Lakers are a far different caliber team than the Phoenix Suns are. So while we still got the win, it was disappointing. I'm going to continually start from now saying this. This is going to be my new phrase. A bad win.
Bad win.
Bad win.
There are no bad wins.
No, this was a bad win. So, moving on. The debut that everybody wanted to see.
Oh, yeah.
Since
July. Way back. This is not the first time we played them, though.
No, but it's the first time they came back. The baby Lakers.
The baby
Lakers. I'm talking about Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart making their return. They've been to LA before to play the Clippers. But the first time they're in Staples Center playing the Lakers. They also played the Lakers, I believe is the day after Thanksgiving or the day before, something like that, in New Orleans, AD's homecoming. But it's the baby Lakers coming back.
Baby Lakers played pretty doggone well.
Yeah, Lonzo and B.I., they kind of did some things. Lonzo had 23 and 5, and B.I. had 22.
You know what Lonzo averages? 11.
Yeah, not 23. Showed out.
I was like, oh, you came to play.
Yeah,
You're like, y'all messed up by trading me.
He shot 10 for 16 from the field.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Only 2 for 7 from 3, which, I mean, that's basically what he was doing here.
No, it was more like
1
for 0.
We were lucky if he shot.
Shoot the rock, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, his three was never something he was doing well with us. But 10 for 16 from the field.
Yeah, he played well.
I don't think I ever saw him take 16 shots as a Laker.
He looked like UCLA Lonzo Ball
for that one game. But he had a triple double. I think it was
the game prior.
Yeah, the game prior, and the NBA changed it.
Yeah, they gave him. I think they gave him someone else's. Assist.
Yeah, at the time in the game, he had a triple double, and the next day the NBA was like, "Haha, just kidding. You had 9 assists."
Yeah,
like I'd be mad.
Oh man, that was his first triple double.
No, he was the youngest person to have a triple double.
Oh no, yeah.
He had one in like his second game with the Lakers.
First triple double of this season.
Yeah, he had a few triple doubles before that, but
triple double. You can't be doing 10-10-10. Those don't count.
What you mean? J. Kidd made a career off 10-10-10.
Like, I need more than 10-10-10.
Oh my God, here we go. So now every starter has to average 15 points.
No, I'm saying like...
The Kevin rule has changed.
Oh my God. Anyways.
Yeah, let's get to it.
The baby Lakers had about 50 altogether.
55 between them. Josh Hart was kind of disappointed. He was 5 points, 2 for 7. Still had 4 rebounds, still had 1 assist, so still making those little hustle plays or whatever, but he didn't shoot well. The other 2, they combined for 55. And
when you watch
B.I. started really slow, but they look good other than Josh Hart.
When you watched Josh Hart, did you even notice he was in the game?
Not really.
Yeah. I was like, that was a good trade.
Yeah.
That's an amazing trade. First of all,
I think Josh Hart will be good on this Lakers team.
He would be good on this Lakers team, but I'm not sure if he would ever get off the bench.
No, I think he'd be a rotation player. I think he'd be our 8th or 9th man off the bench.
Well, anyways, AD had the amazing game of the night. Yeah, I mean, he cooked them.
He did better in this game than he did when they were in New Orleans. AD had 46 and 13, shot 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. And the big difference in this game is 15 for 21 from the field. Remember in New Orleans, he started the game off really slow and sluggishly. It
was emotional.
Yeah, he started like 0 for 6, 0 for 7 or something like that.
I mean, I get that though.
Yeah.
He grew up in that place.
Not tonight, but when they played in LA, he was very efficient.
Oof. I mean, he was 3 for 5 from 3. When was the last time he even hit 3-pointers?
15 for 21, bro. He missed 6 shots.
I don't remember the last time he hit 3-pointers. 3-pointers in any game.
Yeah, he was hitting them in rhythm too. He was catching and he was just taking.
If he was injured or if he has any injuries, he didn't have an injury that night.
Nope. 46 and 13. He had 41 in New Orleans. So now if you look at it, he's had 87 points against them in the 2 games. He's averaging 43.5 points against New Orleans Pelicans for his career.
And people say, you gave him too much. What?
What? We came away with the haul, bro. We robbed the bank. What you mean?
Y'all tripping.
LeBron, he was also impressive. 17 points. So that's on the low end. But
the nice thing about
15 assists.
LeBron, let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Because he knew, hey, if this was Cleveland, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. 15 assists from LeBron. 15. He almost had a triple-double. He was 2 rebounds shy. 15 assists. And then the big contributor in this game was Danny Green, 25. He had 5 or 6 threes in the first quarter, I believe.
5 or 6.
Yeah, he was hot to start the game. He shot 9 for 14 from the field and 6 for 10 from the 3-point line. He also had 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Danny Green was looking legit. Everybody else kind of fell in line after that. It was Kuzma was the next leading scorer with 10. But we see how the team works when we have that third scorer coming through. But like I said earlier, that's why I don't like I'd like to have to know that this is. I mean, every night LeBron's not going to go 17 points and 15 assists, so maybe flip-flop that.
I'll give Vogel this. I'll give Vogel credit for this. He gave Danny Green more minutes tonight than he's given him in a long time because he was hot.
Against the Pelicans or tonight?
No, against the Pelicans.
Okay.
He played 33 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, he played like he was the number one and number two. And, I mean, he was hot. He was 6 of 10 from 3.
The only starter that didn't play more than 31 minutes was JaVale McGee. He only played 15, but, I mean, that's what it is coming in. You know JaVale's only going to give you about 12 to 15 minutes, maybe 20.
Before he gets in foul trouble.
Yeah, not even that, but like he has the asthma, and I'm not saying he's not conditioned, but his body literally can't
get to play that long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we didn't really need him to play all that long anyway.
Like Dwight had more minutes off the bench than McGee did starting. Dwight had 16.
Yeah, because this year Danny Green's averaging about 25 minutes. And now he played 33 minutes.
That low.
Yeah. So he's like borderline. I'm a starter.
Yeah.
I play a certain amount of minutes.
When he has it, he'll get some more because 25, 5, and 5.
That's
a real game right there.
25, 5, and 5 is like I need a raise.
Yeah. The thing is, he's about once a month.
Yeah.
He'll give you this.
Yeah.
Not even this, because this was extra.
Yeah, right now.
But once a month, he'll give you about the 20 to 25 points.
Yeah. Because right now he's averaging 8, 3, and 1.
Yeah.
So.
Which we expected more signing him. When we signed him, you thought, okay, 12 to 15 points.
I didn't expect 12 to 15 points. I just expected knock them down when they come your way.
Well, 12 to 15 is only 4 or 5 threes.
And sometimes I don't even think he's getting that.
Hit a 3 a quarter, man.
Oh!
Hit a 3 a quarter.
Oh!
Hit a 3 a quarter. Hey, difference. He's out there to shoot. He is out there to shoot. Difference. His job is to shoot, okay?
I'm just saying, like, there's 12 minutes in a quarter. That's a long time to be out there.
Hit a
only
3 a
getting
quarter.
3 shots.
Hit a 3 a quarter. Give me a 3 a quarter. But you know that's not his only shot that he's taking. You know he should at least get 2 or 3 looks.
Like he's averaging 8 points.
Yeah.
But shooting,
can you give me a 3 a quarter?
His 3-point shooting. His 3-point shooting is 38%.
Yeah.
Almost 39%. That's pretty doggone good.
Give me a 3 a quarter. You're at 12. Just give me 1 3 a quarter. Play solid D on the other end and give me 1 3 a quarter.
He plays solid D though. He plays solid D.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of people attacking him, which is a good sign.
He also hasn't been on the number 1 for.
He hasn't been on number 1, but I've seen other offensive players attack Kuzma. They'll go after
a turnstile, bro.
But you know that's a scouting report. You can tell if everybody's doing it. You know, it's obvious. Because if Danny Green was their weak point, then they would go after Danny Green.
Oh, definitely.
Especially if we were down, or if they were up and we're down, they would go after him.
Definitely. Yeah, that was a fun game watching. LeBron, AD, and Danny Green balled out. The rest of the team didn't really have much to talk about. Remind me real quick what your rule for starters is.
I say that your starters should have at least 10 points.
Okay.
And by the way, I say this because you want them to be at least a threat to score. Because when it comes down to the playoffs, if you're not a scorer, teams will just shy away from you. They're like, all right, so we don't have to play him. We're just going to slide the defense over to the actual scorers. That way I don't have to waste my energy, waste my time on you. And then it makes it harder because now you're playing 3-on-5 or 4-on-5 instead of 5-on-5. So this goes back to your habits. Build good habits. If you build good habits, by the time you get to the playoffs, you'll be ready.
All very good points that I would mostly agree with. I don't agree with them completely. But I asked you that because there was 2 starters against the Pelicans. And
who? Avery Bradley and JaVale McGee?
Yep, 7 points for Bradley and 6 points for McGee. So you expected 20 points between the 2 of them, right? They gave you 13. That's a D. I mean, maybe a high F. Like you're okay with that.
I'm okay with JaVale McGee, only because I know his minutes are limited.
Okay, what did Dwight have in more minutes? Dwight had 2.
Dwight played like 1 more minute, but he only had 2. But look,
I mean, so which one are you calling a starter? Because
I would say
one of them has
honestly,
to be.
I think Dwight's more of the starter.
Okay, so then the onus is more on Dwight, which makes your case even worse, bro.
Yeah.
He's further away from 10 points than McGee was.
Yeah, but that game in particular, I'll give you other games. It happens all the time. But I would say, for the most part, Dwight's been doing very well, especially with blocking shots. And everyone knew that Anthony Davis was going against his old team, so they were just force-feeding him the ball. I mean, no one else was close to his shots except for LeBron, and LeBron only shot it 17 times. He shot it 21 times.
Only 17. LeBron only took 17 shots.
Yeah,
I mean, for a
he
superstar,
took 17 shots and he had 17 points.
Yeah,
that's a bad
not
night.
Good efficiency, not at all. Yeah, but still, I mean, don't act like 17 shots is nothing. There's 4 players that had more than 10 shots on the Lakers that night. AD, LeBron, obviously. Kuzma. Danny Green, because he had it going, and Kuz was right at 10.
But Kuzma shot it pretty efficiently, too. That's 40%. 40% from 2, 50% from 3. That's decent.
He still wasn't really effective.
No. I wouldn't say he was effective, but he wasn't a basket case.
Mm-hmm. All right, so trying to move on quickly here. That was the New Orleans game. Did we miss anything? Anything else you want to point out? Looking at the box score right now, E'Twaun Moore had 16 points. I don't know how the hell that happened. 16 points on 7 for 14 shooting.
No idea. That team was just really aggravating me. The fact, it was really aggravating me that Lonzo Ball would just keep knocking down threes. And I was like, see, if you had just done that when you were the Lakers, you might still be here. You and your daddy.
His dad, LeVar, was actually there that day, too. It's funny. LeVar was at the game, and guess who he was sitting next to?
Kobe?
Oh,
okay. Who?
Rich Paul.
Oh.
They were actually sitting together. It was LeVar and Rich Paul sitting next to each other.
Wait, who's his agent?
Not Rich Paul.
It's not, okay. I think Rich Paul was an option, but he ended up going with...
I think he went Aaron Mintz. No, that was D'Lo. I don't know. I think he was doing the Alan Foster thing for his agent.
I thought he went with one of the high-profile ones.
After the dude stole the money from him, or because I think when he first came in, he was doing the whole family agent thing.
CAA. Yeah, he went big time.
Yeah, after the whole money shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I'm not playing around with y'all no more. Yeah, I'm playing with my money.
They took $1 million from bro, a milli.
Yeah,
what would you do if somebody took $1 million from you? Yeah, so without explaining yourself. Let's talk about that when the microphone is.
So, I'm going to talk about violence over here.
All right, moving on. Let's go to the Pistons game tonight. This was pretty fresh in our heads because it literally ended about 2 hours and 15 minutes ago.
Yes.
And I'll start with this one. Lakers had 8 blocks in the first quarter, not the first half, the first quarter. Now, they came into the game averaging 7.1 a game, so they surpassed their block total per game in just the first quarter alone. Mm-hmm. Despite that, they were only up 2 or 4. Something like that. It was 1 or 2 possession game.
Fallon.
That was later on in the game.
No, but
not the first quarter, they weren't really fouling.
Okay.
They started out, it was 10-2 within the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. They had a double-digit lead for part of the quarter, and Detroit started to come back, and it looked fine. I'm not going to say it looked fine, but you were encouraged by how many blocks the Lakers were getting.
Yeah.
Second quarter rolled around. They kind of extended the lead a little bit. And the third quarter, the wheels fell off the bus. And this is where the fouling came into point. Because Detroit did go to the line 35 to 40 times tonight.
That's crazy.
Yeah, at one point it was 35 to 17.
Yeah. I looked at, it's funny. I looked at the stat sheet and I was like, wow, we have shot so many more shots than them. How has this happened? Like, we should be up a ton if we shot 20 more shots.
That's how I got watching the game, especially hearing the stats and seeing the game with my own eyes and everything like that. I felt like the game should have been a lot different and it should be more of a comfortable lead, but they were right on us.
Yeah.
Even though we were blocking everything. Lakers finished with 20 blocks tonight.
That's crazy. You know the record is?
Franchise was 21, NBA is 23.
Yeah. You know who has the Laker record for most blocks?
I forgot his name, but dude had 15, I believe, in one game.
Elmore Smith.
Yeah.
17.
17, yeah.
Crazy.
They brought that up on the broadcast.
Yeah.
AD, the reason why you're bringing that up is because AD had 8. McGee had 6. Dwight was third on the team with 5.
5 is a good night.
And
5 is like, hey, I have 5 blocks.
You bronze, bro. You didn't get silver medal. You didn't get gold. You got bronze. Like, what? How I get third place with 5 blocks? Yeah.
Any other night, you're like, yeah, I had 5 blocks. I feel pretty good. I'm going out tonight, guys. Hey, y'all, drinks on me. I had 5 blocks.
Yeah, JaVale and AD looking at him like, aha. But, I mean, it was good, but it was still a close game. Lakers only won by 7. It was 106-99. Obviously, the free throw disparity.
Disparity?
Yeah, disparity. There we go. I'm all over the place. The free throw disparity was a big reason why, and especially because the Pistons hit like their first 21 in a row. Yeah,
Derrick Rose. Oh my God.
Derrick Rose is
he was like 10 for 10.
That's another guy. How much would you love to have D Rose coming off our bench?
Oh man. Oh yeah. I would.
See, now we're starting to see the holes that Rob didn't necessarily connect in the dot. Because I'm sure he could have got D Rose.
Yeah, but you're not going to get.
He probably didn't even call him.
Probably not.
But that type of player, how much would we love to have that type of play, that
Honestly,
type of scorer, that type of creator coming off our bench?
What's crazy is that he has transformed himself into
a
valuable player, very valuable player. Because in the beginning of his career, he was
MVP,
a superstar,
youngest MVP ever. Yeah, went toe to toe with LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Got injured
many a time.
Yes.
Had a few stops now. He was in New York. He was in somewhere else before Detroit.
And last year he was, in Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota. That's where he was.
Minnesota, that's where it clicked. I think where he, accepted his role.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're just like, oh, my God, he's a starter.
No. Well, I look at him more as, the perfect six-man.
A scorer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming off the bench. He would do wonders coming. Imagine if he was our six-man. This is the type of player that I wanted. This is why I said Jamal Crawford, Darren Collison, somebody like this. Now, Darren Collison is going to run more of a instilled offense than Jamal Crawford and D Rose, but he can still score.
Mm-hmm.
Just like D Rose, he had 5 assists tonight, so he can still run a semblance of an offense.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's the biggest piece missing for the Lakers right now.
There is a player on the Pistons that's on the trade block though.
Who was that?
Andre Drummond.
Oh yeah, but
anybody want that?
Well, bro, 16 rebounds a game. What you mean?
Oh, we don't need that right now.
Yeah, that's why for
the Lakers don't need that. We have enough.
That's why for us it's a non-starter because that doesn't fill a need yet. And then what would we have to give up for it? They want a lot, and he's in a walk year. He has an option for next year, but he's probably going to opt out and demand a max contract, which he'll probably get somewhere close. Because if he continues to average what he's averaging now, this is going to be the third year in a row that he's averaging 15 or more rebounds.
Wow.
I mean, the NBA has kind of changed, so centers aren't as dominant, but when a guy is averaging 15 rebounds for 3 years straight...
You know who could really use him? The Clippers. Any size.
Oh, that would make things very interesting in playoff series for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, they'd have to give a lot up for it.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the Lakers side of things, AD with 24 points, 11 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, another triple-double. I believe this is 8th or 9th of the year. Yeah. 21, 14 rebounds, 11 assists.
90th triple-double of his career.
90th triple-double of his career.
Crazy.
After that, Dwight had 11. KCP had 10. Caruso had 13. Caruso was a big spark plug coming off the bench. He had a lot of and-one plays. He had a lot of highlight plays. There's a moment at the end of the first half where he actually tried to dunk on Drummond's head and got blocked.
But it was
he handled it like a champ. After he got blocked, he had to smile. And he's like, what can you do? Yeah, like, I'm not going to get them all, but if he would have got that one.
Woo! Staples Center would have won.
They were actually, he was at the free throw line at one point in the first half, and they were chanting MVP for Caruso.
Did you hear?
He's like 8th in the All-Star
voting.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm a Lakers fan,
I like him. I was telling you about him early in the season. I was like, man, I think this guy could really make a difference.
He should not be an All-Star.
No. As much as I like him, I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's the fan favorite. They're going to mark up their favorite player.
Well, whenever you play for LA, you're going to get a lot of votes.
I don't know. Zaza Pachulia was never a starter. He didn't play for the Lakers. But he had a whole country voting for him. Whole country of Georgia. Yeah, tonight it was really a strange game because the game, if you watch the game without the scoreboard on, like imagine you edit the scoreboard off the TV and watch the game like that, you're not keeping score in your head, you would think the Lakers have to be up. Just by how many blocks they're getting, how many turnovers. They were shooting above 50%. Detroit was at 23% at one point in the first quarter, but they were only up by 2 or 4 at the end of the first quarter. So it's like, it was really weird, and it was close coming down the stretch. Detroit went on a big run to start the second half in the third quarter specifically.
Run, something crazy.
Yeah, and they went on another big run in the fourth quarter where it's like 21-11. And even in the last few seconds, it was only a 4-point lead. It was 103-99 with about 25-30 seconds left. So, I mean, it was really strange because if I tell you the Lakers got 20 blocks in the game, you're thinking, well, then it must have been a healthy victory.
Yeah, or you were playing the team that ended up settling on 3-point shots. Because if you can't get to the paint, you're going to start shooting jump shots. And
I mean, watching it, I felt like it should have been a lot better or a lot bigger when they didn't shoot 3 well at all, only 6 or 20 as a team, which is 30%. But I mean, it didn't. I don't know how to feel about that game. I don't really know what to say about it just yet because, like I said, it just ended a couple hours ago.
Yeah. I mean, put it this way. Detroit shot 30 from 35 from the free throw line.
That was the killer.
30 from 35. There's not a lot of teams that are going to shoot 30 for 35. Yeah.
Most nights that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Drummond was 8 for 9. Wood was 6 for 7. Derrick Rose was 10 for 10.
When did he become a good free throw shooter?
I don't know. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like,
because I thought he
shot 10 for 10?
He's like 86% on the season.
Oh, I don't know when it happened, but apparently it happened.
I guess so. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how Detroit... They're scrappy. That's what it is. They're scrappy. You can tell that they're well coached. You can tell that they give 100% every possession, offensively and defensively. But I still don't understand how
they're still one of the worst teams in the NBA.
I still don't understand how it was only a 7-point win.
I'm surprised they're 13-2. But then again, they just lost. Or how long has
Reggie Jackson?
Not even Reggie Jackson.
Blake
Griffin had been out.
Yeah,
that could make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because the team we see now if we play them again, it may not be the same team.
You know who looked good? Svi Mikhailuk.
He used to play for the Lakers. Yes. Oh, I really wanted him to stay with the Lakers. And when Magic
came in, that was one of the casualties.
He was like, bye.
Yeah. 14 points, 4 for 7 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3.
He played really well.
In 32 minutes.
He's one of the... I think Steve has true 3-and-D potential because he has really good athleticism.
The Lakers were high on him when we had him. But when that was the year that Magic came on and Magic and Rob came in February and that they traded Lou Williams to the Rockets just to kind of create some more cap space to make sure they would have enough for LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time they thought PG as well, so they were kind of... And they unloaded Svi to Detroit for like a second-round pick. That's it.
I didn't think he was making enough money to give up on him anyway.
Yeah. But they did. I know the coaching staff, Luke was really high on him because Luke was still the coach at the time, and everything that I heard from Lakers reporters and announcers, watching broadcasts, Stu Lance and Bill McDonald, listen to Mason Ireland all the time, John Ireland, voice of the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Lakers were real high on him, but they gave him up, and I haven't watched much of him since he left, but I mean, 4 for 6 from 3, 14 points. What? I would love to have that as an option on this team. Like, that's Danny Green-esque. The defense wasn't as good, but as far as the shooting goes, that's what I expect from Danny Green.
True.
So, that's the Pistons game in a nutshell. I don't really have anything else to say about it. You got anything, Kevin?
Well, I did want to ask you, did I ask you earlier, do you know how many assists that LeBron has this year?
In total?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He has 374.
Was he at about 11.7?
11, I think it's 11.3.
Okay.
Do you know how many, do you know the next closest player to him? Ricky Rubio.
With?
270.
So he's about 60 ahead.
104.
Oh, I thought you said 334.
No,
374?
374 to 270.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So it would take Ricky Rubio 11 games. Basically, LeBron would have to sit out 11 games, and Ricky Rubio would have to play 11 games on his average to catch up to LeBron.
Well, we know who's going to lead the league in assists. Because LeBron is going to throw a lot more lobs. What game was it? I think it was against the Pelicans where he threw it up to AD. AD caught it behind his head, and his eye, they showed it like on repeat.
Yeah.
Like his eyes were like wide open. There was another play, I think it was against the Pelicans as well, where LeBron didn't throw it, but he caught an out of bounds lob from KCP, hidden baseline. KCP threw the lob up from the hash mark, basically. LeBron caught it. He looked really young and spry there. Back to the Detroit game. That reminded me of tonight. LeBron had a breakaway dunk where he got up.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron had a lob in the first half where he got up, and his head was up at the top of the square.
Nobody jumped up there. No, everyone was like,
but you want to say the old man LeBron. He's still getting up when he wants to.
When he wants to. I have a feeling that, I'm hoping when the playoff comes,
he'll want 2 more.
Yes. I need a little bit more of that.
Me too. Me too, because that whole last year, the shenanigans, playoff mode has been activated. Well, guess what? We didn't even finish 500. Thank you for your playoff mode.
Did you see the lob? Was it not tonight, but it was Friday night from, was that Danny Green over to AD?
Oh, where you missed it?
No, he dunked it, but he...
No, where there was one where Danny Green threw the lob, and it was just terrible. Like, AD couldn't even catch it.
Yeah.
So AD jumped, and it was too high or too far behind or something. He couldn't even catch it. I know he threw one before that where they actually converted it.
The one before that he converted, he had to, really swing his arm back and he dunked it.
Yeah, I think is that the one where he had his eyes that I was talking about earlier, where his eyes were all open? It was
he was like, yeah. So prior to the game, LeBron said, Danny Green is definitely one of the worst lob throwers in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, of all time. Yeah, because that missed one that it was just like AD couldn't even catch.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
They've been having a lot of highlight plays lately. I like that part of it.
They've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I don't. Would I rather them have fun and win these closely contested games, or would I rather have them Mamba mentality where, look, we ain't playing around. We won this game. We ain't celebrating it. We expected to win it, and we'll celebrate in June.
Yeah, see, that's just not this team. And I've had to start to get over that. That's not what this team is about. This is a LeBron team.
Yeah, and that's not LeBron's personality, but that's why I don't...
Look, when the Lakers had Kobe...
They took his personality.
And the Cavs had LeBron, you'd always look on the sideline, and LeBron's teams were dancing, having fun.
Pre-game and everything
Pre-game,
like that.
during the game, post-game. I mean, they had that whole video when he was in Miami of them dancing and putting on helmets and to almost to
I don't know. I prefer the Kobe style.
You're so used to it, but you want the star player. You want the players to take on the star player's personality, because that means if they do, that means they bought in.
Yeah, and making it mesh and things like that.
Exactly,
and because it's good personality fits. Now it's more likely to work. It makes it easier for chemistry. I don't disagree with that point. I'm not saying that there's a right way or a wrong way to do it. But I prefer the more, look, it's nice to see y'all have fun every once in a while, but I prefer the, look, we're gonna be serious about things. We're coming in, we're to step on people's throats and catch us on our parade in June down Figueroa. That's what I prefer, because that's what I've seen is proven as a Lakers fan. Now, LeBron might make me look at things differently after this year, maybe next year, who knows, because the championship window is really this year, and we'll see about next year.
Yes. Just the other night, Dwight Howard and I forget who else, if it was Cook or someone else. It was Cook. Cook and Dwight Howard took a pretend photo of LeBron when he threw
during the pregame,
and it's a LeBron-esque team. And, I'm not going to say this should be like a Kobe team, because LeBron's not Kobe, and Kobe is just a different animal altogether.
Yeah. But
as long as it works.
I will direct you to the finals win-loss record. 5-2 versus 3-6. I mean, I know I'm not asking LeBron to do something and be something that he's not. But from what I've seen with my own eyes, because I've watched both of their careers very closely growing up, Amy is still not to this day. From my eyes, what's more productive? 5-2 or 3-6? So yeah, LeBron's been there twice more, but guess what? Kobe won twice more. So I don't know. That's just, I'm still in the adjusting to it phase.
Exactly.
Like you said, you've kind of been getting used to it. Like it sounds like you have a little bit of head start on me, because I'm still at the I'm dipping my toe in. It's like it's not quite right right temperature. Let me.
I mean, you may not remember, but when this was Shaq's team, it was sort of similar. He liked to have a lot of fun
before the 2000s started. Yeah, when Kobe was young, the first 4 years.
Exactly.
Basically, 96 to 99.
He liked to joke around with the media, and that's how it was. And then when Kobe got the team, when it was definitely Kobe's team, that's when it was a business-like atmosphere.
Yeah, the Kobe years.
Yeah, and now it's back to, I mean, even when we had Magic, it was more of a joking around attitude. We go to Shaq. Later on, we go to Shaq years. It's like, oh, we're just having fun. Go to Kobe years, business. Come back to LeBron, we're having fun again. So.
Yeah, we'll see. Either way, at the end of the day, we both hope for another parade.
Whatever works, man. Yeah. Whatever works.
However we get there, I'm not going to be picky about it. But I don't
care if make a new atmosphere.
Right, do a little both. All right, so I guess we'll move on to this tonight against the Pistons because it kind of in the same boat as the game. Avery Bradley came up with a sprained ankle, and he turned it pretty good. His ankle bone almost hit the floor. It was a pretty bad turn. In the first half, he came out of the game. He was not able to return. They did x-ray him in the locker room and came to the conclusion that he was not going to return to tonight's game, and the x-rays were negative. So it wasn't a break. It was just a sprain. But a sprain can keep you out 2 to 6 weeks, depending on the grade of it. I mean, Lonzo Ball sprained his ankle last year and missed 3 months to end the year.
We're not talking about Lonzo Ball.
I mean, we're not talking about him, but that's kind of like
give you like that.
Yeah, a guideline. And then a couple weeks ago, Luka sprained his ankle and he recovered quicker.
Exactly.
So it's all about the severity. It's all about
the player,
the individual player's body. But I don't really know Avery Bradley like that because it's his first year. I don't know how he recovers and everything like that. But the past few years, he's been injury plagued, and it's kind of worrisome, especially because I would say he's our best perimeter defender.
He is. Oh, he definitely is.
So I mean, just that alone, he's already missed time this year with the leg. I think it was a hairline fracture in his thigh. Now he has the ankle, and so that's kind of something for me to keep an eye on. I don't know how you feel or how the rest of the Laker fans feel, but to me, that's a big issue.
I just feel like he buckled it. He was looking behind when he was on the fast break. He kind of looked behind.
He's looking behind his back for a trailer to dump it off.
Yeah.
And then he didn't really get his footing when he planted, and his momentum carried him, so it kind of...
Yeah, so I mean, for all we know, he could be out like 1 or 2 games.
Or he could be out 6, 7, 8 weeks.
It didn't seem that bad.
I mean, he turned it pretty good.
He turned it pretty good, but then again, I don't know. I'm so used to...
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how he recovers.
Exactly. Recovering so quickly that I
Kobe wouldn't miss any games. Kobe would come out the next game.
Yeah. Like, what? Turn my ankle?
And then kill everybody. And then drop 50 on somebody.
They said I was injured? I'm dropping 30 tonight.
On 12 shots. I mean, so that's something to look at. I don't really have anything else to say about it.
I think he'll be fine. He came back pretty quickly the first time.
I hope it'll be fine, but it's still something to
look at.
Yeah, don't stick your nose up and just think we'll be fine. It's going to be an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he comes back, then we have to readjust to having him back. And it's been fairly inconsistent this year with him as far as his play. So that's why it was a big thing. And he's been playing a lot better since he started to get back into rhythm in the last few games. And now,
coming off,
unfortunately, in the course of a long 82-game season.
Yeah, they've been running more action plays to him. He'll come off a screen, hit the elbow. He knocks down the jumper pretty well. He's pretty consistent about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, he's our best perimeter defender.
Yeah.
He guards the best guard on the other team.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's a big piece. Let's talk about this. The Kuzma trade. We talked about it a little bit last week because the comments Kuzma's trainer made about LeBron. Something I realized since then, since we recorded about it on right after Christmas Day, is Kuzma's trainer was actually, he worked with Kawhi during his high school and college years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe he's the same trainer Kawhi has currently, but he does have a history with Kawhi, and he's been a Kawhi supporter and Kawhi fan over the years. So that might have something why he tweeted what he did about LeBron and Kawhi.
That wouldn't make any sense though. I mean, that just wouldn't make a lot of sense because Kawhi took off like a whole year to recover from an injury.
I mean, I'm not saying the tweet makes sense or anything.
No,
but
I'm not saying.
As far as like a personal relationship, a personal level, I mean,
like,
that would explain why he supports Kawhi.
Yeah, like if that was his reason, that's blasphemy. It's like, okay, one player takes off a whole year to recover from an injury, and one player takes a few weeks.
No, but I mean, things are different when you have personal relationships, and that's why I say don't mix family with business and everything like that. But it's been out there. I think you sent it to me this morning, or was it yesterday?
This morning.
There's an article on The Athletic basically talking about the Lakers are more willing to engage teams in trade offers revolving around Kuzma. And that's basically what I was questioning last week. The issue with Kuzma is he makes $2 million. Not even. Technically, he makes $1.97 million. So we'll round up for argument's sake and say he makes $2 million. The Lakers don't have any cap room, so if they're going to trade Kuzma, and that's it, just Kuzma, they're going to have to trade him for another player that makes $2 million.
Exactly.
Which Kuzma is far better than every other player that makes $2 million. Yeah, it's not. You're not doing. You're better off just holding on to Kuzma. Now you could make a package with Kuzma and other players on the Lakers roster, but when you start to look at how the money is broken down, Danny Green is 2 years 30, I believe, 2 years 28, something like that, so he makes 14 or 15 a year. Add that to Kuzma's 2, that's a nice chunk. The issue with Danny Green is, I don't want to trade him. You don't want to trade him. We're going to need a player like Danny Green, so if we trade him, now we're just stuck searching for a player like Danny Green, and then we're going to have to take a markdown on it because that player, that if we find one, is not going to be better than Danny Green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you continue to look down the roster. KCP and Rondo are about $8 or $9 million a year. Okay, but now you're having to find a team that's going to take them and still give you a profit or margin on Kuzma. Which they're probably looking at you like, okay, we'll take your quote-unquote bad contracts because you're throwing in Kuzma.
Sure.
So it's like there's not really much you do. Personally, if it was up to me, I would explore every trade avenue to trade him for a more established star or third scorer. It doesn't even have to be a star. But his saving grace might be the fact that he makes so little money that it's basically impossible.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I would look around too. The only like I read the article, and I really like The Athletic. I pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I read it all the time. Now, Sam Amick, the one who wrote the article, says that the Lakers are doing their quote unquote due diligence on other players.
I mean, as they should.
But Shams, also at The Athletic, said that they're not shopping Kyle Kuzma and he's part of their future. So I'm not sure which direction they're going to go in. I'm pretty sure they're just going to do the due diligence anyway because that's what you should do no matter what the case is. But we'll find out soon.
But at the end of the day, one of them has to be right. Either they keep Kuzma or they trade him.
Exactly.
Those are the only two options.
And the trade deadline is February 6th.
About a month away.
Yeah, we got about 30 days. We'll find out.
I mean, it would take a lot of cap gymnastics. It would take a lot of cap gymnastics for Rob to pull off a trade that's worth it and smart. But at the same time, Rob is a former agent, so he knows the cap probably better than other GMs because that was his whole life, making things work into the cap. So it'll be very hard and challenging and difficult, but if he found the right deal, I think he'd be able to loop a third or fourth team into it and to make the money work somehow, some way.
That'd be so hard.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it'd be easy. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to take probably a couple weeks because the more teams involved, the harder it is to complete the trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand and I get it, but I think if he finds the deal good enough, he'll find a way to make it happen.
Now, I'll give you a name. What if you traded one player, or we traded two players, and we ended up with JJ Redick?
What two players? I would love JJ because that's another sniper. The issue is he's kind of falling on the defensive end.
Yeah. I would probably say
he makes about $15 million a year, so we'd have to make that money work.
Like Rondo and Kuzma.
We might have to throw in another couple million now.
Yeah.
What we would have to do is we'd have to get within 75% of $15 million. I don't know if Rondo and Kuzma is quite there.
He's making 13.25.
Okay, so Rondo and Kuzma might work.
Yeah. And then, or if you traded, would you trade Kuzma to get Iggy back?
I thought about that, but how does that work? Iggy's at 18 million.
Anyway.
Yeah, Iggy's at 18 million.
Yeah.
So we got to take off Kuzma's 2. We got to make up
you'd have to trade 2 players.
Roughly 16 million, yeah.
I'm sorry, 3 players.
Unless you do Danny Green, but then we're right back to square one.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Now we got to find a Danny Green type player and take a step back because. So, I mean, that's why it's hard because Danny Green has that perfect salary number that you plug in and it's like, okay, that works. Yeah. That sounds good. But then you think, honestly, we need Danny Green.
Like JJ Redick, if we got JJ Redick, he'd be the perfect third option on this team. 1, he knows his role. 2, he's a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, you can roll Danny Green, JJ Redick, LeBron, AD, and Kuz will be gone, but Dwight. So you give LeBron 2 dunkers and 2 snipers.
Oh, my God.
Run the offense, LeBron. Have fun. Don't forget, you could attack the rim, too. Like, how do you stop? That's literally about as balanced as you can make a team around LeBron.
That's when I say, look, I only say the 10-point thing because I want you to be a threat. I want you to be a threat to score so no one can just leave you for someone else. Like, okay, I don't really need to pay attention to you. I'm going to go over here.
But But
if you have JJ Redick, you're not leaving JJ Redick. Even if you want to help, you're not going to leave JJ Redick.
Okay, so real quick, before we go into predictions for next week, because we're trying to keep it under an hour or about an hour. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure where we're at right now. But do you feel that players change the way they play in higher leverage moments? So, for example, the playoff Rondo thing. Rondo has been terrible last year and a lot of this year. But we saw last time he was in the playoffs with AD in New York, he was getting triple-doubles every game. He was averaging like 13, 14 assists against the Warriors. Mm-hmm. You know, so he
was more focused.
But do you think I'm not talking about just him specifically. That's just an example. Do you feel players can elevate their performance at higher levels or higher leverage situations?
You see it all the time with veterans. You see it all the time. I'm not sure how much you want to lean on that because you're like, oh yeah, when we get to the playoffs, hopefully he'll get better.
Yeah, that's like what I'm talking about, the bad habits and the switch and everything. But it is a possible. So
it's like tonight.
If you have one person on your team who's a wild card, for instance, Rondo.
Yeah.
And what if we get to the playoffs and because Rondo is that weird type of personality, he snaps right back into this quote unquote playoff Rondo.
Yeah.
And now he's giving us like 12 points, 14 assists, 6, 7, 8 rebounds. And we're looking like, where was this all year? But in the playoffs, that's very valuable. And that's going to come in handy big time.
I wouldn't want to lean on that just because he's not doing it now. I mean,
I'm not saying lean on it.
You're kind of like looking. It'd almost be like in hindsight, like, oh, he could do this.
I'm not saying lean on it. More so like you bought a lottery ticket and you got that lottery ticket in your pocket. You know, chances are it's not going to hit. But imagine it hit. and you're just like, oh, what? I got the winning numbers. Like, imagine that. You get what I'm saying? Like, just have a lottery ticket, bro. Like, we're realistic. We know realistically it's not gonna happen, but hey, what if it does? Like, that would be nice to have. And
Rondo's actually making he's not making that much. He's only making $2 million.
Rondo's making $2 million?
Yep.
For how long? What he signed 2 years, $9 million.
No, 2 years, $2 million. Or 2 years, $5 million.
No.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. I was like, yeah, he's not making any money.
He took a pay cut? He was at $9 million last year. Why did he take a pay cut?
To stay in LA?
No. All right. I'm not going to get into that. We're trying to get out of here. Next week's predictions. Who we got going up? We got the Knicks at home.
Mm-hmm. Knicks almost beat the Clippers.
On Tuesday.
Almost beat the Clippers.
Yeah,
lost by 3.
We were talking about that too. The Clippers ain't been looking good. They almost lost to the Knicks. They lost to the Grizzlies at home by 26 or 24, something like that.
Paul George came out and said, oh, yeah, I found out why I wasn't hitting my shots is because of this and this and this. And I was like, no, bro. It's probably because you're injured and overworked because Kawhi is taking off every other game.
Kawhi is being a...
So now they came out and they said, yeah, he's injured. I'm like, duh. You can't get overworked like that. You put the load on you every single game and then go ahead and say, oh, yeah. So when you win... when the Clippers win, it's because of Kawhi, and when they lose, it's because of Paul George.
Yeah, that's Clipper talk.
That sucks.
You've had me talking about the Clippers all day. I'm tired of it. So we got 3 games next week. We got Tuesday, January 7th at home against the Knicks. Obviously a win. That better be a win. If that's a win, I'm going to come in on this podcast and I'm going to bring the wrath of hell to everybody listening. That'll be the. Don't do it. Y'all did it last year. Don't do it, LeBron. And then they got on Friday the 10th at Dallas and the second of a back-to-back Saturday at OKC. And that's what they got next week. I'm going to take 3-0.
I'm easily taking 3-0.
I'm taking 3-0.
Yeah. The only one I'm worried about is Dallas. The game will probably be a lot closer because
I'm not worried about the
Bradley's out.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the back-to-back because it's Dallas to Oklahoma. That flight is probably about 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, even if Avery Bradley was playing, I'm pretty sure Luka would make adjustments.
Yeah, LeBron was his inspiration growing up, and he's going to come out amped up for that game and everything like that. But
the Knicks, the Julius Randle would probably have a big game because it's Julius Randle.
I was starting to grow on him.
No.
I didn't like him his first few years. I didn't see any potential. And then slowly, his 3rd and 4th year, I started to grow on him. And by the end of his 4th year, I'm like, that's our small ball 5. That's our Draymond Green right there.
Mm-hmm. I was never a big believer in Julius Randle.
I wasn't at the beginning, but the way he started to play towards the end.
He's a productive player. He's a good player. He plays his role. He knows what he's doing. But I feel like he's a ball stopper.
Towards the end, like I said, his rookie year, he broke his leg 14 minutes into the season.
Yeah, no, that was rough.
Yeah, so that was wiped out. His second year, he was probably recovering, getting back in shape. I didn't really like his game when they drafted him to begin with. I wanted Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart went 6 to Boston, and we took Julius Randle at 7.
Which one would you rather have?
Marcus Smart. I wanted Marcus Smart from that draft.
I like everything.
I wanted Wiggins
Smart except for his shooting.
I wanted Wiggins, but I knew we weren't going to.
Oh yeah.
I knew he wasn't falling down to us.
No.
So when we were sitting there at 7, I was watching the draft. And I'm like, please give me Marcus Smart. Please get me Marcus Smart. Please get. With the 6th pick, the Boston Celtics select Marcus Smart. Not only did we not get who I wanted, he's now a Celtic.
Oh, yeah. They probably did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but that's something that
it would happen to Laker fans purposely. But, yeah, so when they
you wanted him? Mm-hmm. We wouldn't even think about him, but not
just out of spite. It's kind of like the Clippers. We don't want Darren Collison. We have no need for him. We just want him to keep him away from you.
It's like, you should stop building your team around the Lakers. How about you build your team around what you need?
They waiting to go to Seattle. Don't worry about it. They go to Seattle. Get out of our building. I still can't. I can't stand how they cover our banners, bro.
It's it's just jealousy.
It's so petty. It's so petty, but it makes me want to slap them.
That's petty. Like, look, man. You don't want to be in the same building.
We worked hard for this. We got 16 banners and numerous retired. You just about to cut. We worked hard for this.
Like, they're about to go to Inglewood. They're about to go to the Wood.
Oh my god. Can we press charges for for defacing our property? Anyways, Lakers 3-0 run the record to 32-7. They're currently sitting at 29-7. Best record in the West, 4.5 game lead over the number 2 seed. So, yeah, let's see if they could go at 32-7. That would mark almost the halfway point of the season.
Almost halfway.
You couldn't have expected a better record. I don't care who you were.
I thought we did. I thought we probably had like 10 to 12 losses.
I thought we'd be 23-11 like Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Something around there.
And then you could see potential, but it hadn't amounted to much. Because I didn't think that LeBron and AD would click that quick.
Just quick, yeah.
They look like they've been practicing for like 2 summers.
I'm sure they were on the set of Space Jam working out. But, yeah. We're going to wrap it up here. Again, everybody, please hit that like and subscribe button for us. We're trying to grow the channel so that we can continue to bring the Lakers content to you. And we both genuinely have fun doing it. So please go ahead and do that for us. And as always, it's Adam.
This is Kevin.
Thank you for tuning back in, everybody. Have a good night.